wisdom. With the divisions of the Abhisimilakra. Translated by Edward Conze. University of California Press, Berkeley, Los Angeles, London. Translation of the Sutra. Chapter 27, The Shrine. 5. Victory over the defilements. Thereupon, the Lord said to Sakra, chief of gods, if kausika, any son or daughter of good family, while he takes up this deep perfection of wisdom, or bears it in mind, preaches it, studies it, spreads it, repeats it, or wisely attends to it, goes right to the front of a battle while it is in progress, and he either lies down, walks, sits, or stands after he has gone into battle. It is then impossible and it cannot be that, while they take up this perfection of wisdom, wisely attended to it, any arrow, sword or clod will be hurled at that son or daughter of good family. Or if these weapons were hurled at them, that they will fall on them, and it is impossible that there will be a check on their life from the attacks of others. And why? Because for a long time they have, coursing in this perfection of wisdom, vanquished the arrows and swords of their own greed, of their own hate, of their own delusion, and also the arrows and swords of the greed, hate, and delusion of others they have vanquished. They have vanquished the arrows and swords of their own wrong views, obsessions, and evil inclinations, as well as those of others. It is in this way that an arrow or sword aimed at the body of the son or daughter of good family does not actually hit him. 5. No occasion for attacks from others. Moreover, kausika, if a son or daughter of good family will take up this perfection of wisdom, bear it in mind, preach it, study it, spread it, wisely attend to it, and if he also is not lacking in the thought of all knowledge, then, if someone would sprinkle him with a drug, or work devil lore on him, or put him into a fire pit, or strike him with a sword, or give him poison, or throw him into the water, all that will not affect him. And why? A great lore is this perfection of wisdom, the utmost lore is this perfection of wisdom. The son or daughter of good family who trains in this lore does not set his heart on disturbing his own peace, nor that of others, nor that of both himself and others. 5. Right and perfect enlightenment. And why? He does not make a basis of his self, or of others, or of both himself and others. He does not make a basis of form, feeling, consciousness, buddhadharmas, or even the knowledge of all modes. Since he does not apprehend them, he does not set his heart on disturbing his own peace, or that of others, or of both himself and others. He acquires the utmost, right, and perfect enlightenment. He surveys the thoughts of all beings. And why? As they train themselves in this lore, the former tathagatas have fully known the utmost, right, and perfect enlightenment. And also those tathagatas who will be in the future period, also they will, training themselves in this lore, fully awake to the utmost, right, and perfect enlightenment. And also those who are just now, in the 10 directions, the immeasurable tathagatas, they also have, by training themselves in this lore, fully known the utmost, right, and perfect enlightenment. 5. The worthiness of being worshipped. Moreover, kausika, where this perfection of wisdom, after it has been written down, has been taken up, there men and ghosts who seek for entry, who search for entry, do not gain entry. And why? Because there, so as to worship the perfection of wisdom, all the gods in the great trichiliocosm arrange shelter, defense, and protection for these sons and daughters of good family who will bear in mind this perfection of wisdom after it has been written down. And those gods will come there to honor, revere, and worship the perfection of wisdom, and, having worshipped it, they will go away again. He who bears in mind and preaches this perfection of wisdom after it has been written down will have these qualities advantages belonging to this life. Just as those who have gone to the circumference of the terrace of enlightenment, or to its interior, cannot, even with the help of evil animal beings, be hurt or injured by men or ghosts. And why? Because, seated on it, the tathagatas of the past have known full enlightenment, and so do those of the future and of the present. And after they have known full enlightenment, they establish all beings in ease, fearlessness, freedom from anxiety, lack of fright, non-enmity, inviolability and undisturbed peace, and, having done so, they establish countless beings in heavenly and human benefits, in the fruit of a stream winner. And why? Because this perfection of wisdom makes the spot of earth where it is into a true shrine, worthy of being honored, revered and worshipped, with flowers, incense. 6. Resolute faith. 6. One aims at one's own welfare. 2. 6. Very weak. Sacra. Suppose that there are two persons. One of the two, a son or daughter of good family, has written down this perfection of wisdom and made a copy of it. Bear it in mind, honors, reveres, adores and worships it with flowers, wreaths, perfumes, unguents, aromatic powders, strips of cloth, parasols, banners, and flags. The other would erect a stupa for the relics of the Tathagata who has gone to parinirvana, and look after it, and would honor it with flowers. Which one of the two would beget a greater heap of merit? The Lord. I will question you on this point and you may answer to the best of your abilities. What do you think? Kausika. With regard to that knowledge of all modes which the Tathagata has obtained and to that body which he has brought forth, in which progressive practices did the Tathagata train so that he could obtain the knowledge of all modes and bring forth that personality? Sacra. It is because the Tathagata has trained in this perfection of wisdom that he has obtained the knowledge of all modes. The Lord. So it is, Kausika, so it is. It is through training in the perfection of wisdom that I have obtained the knowledge of all modes. It is not by his acquisition of this body which is the basis of the relics that the Tathagata derives his name, but from his having acquired the knowledge of all modes. And this knowledge of all modes has come forth from the perfection of wisdom. Just so this body is the true foundation of the cognition of the knowledge of all modes. And, supported by this foundation has the Tathagata obtained the knowledge of all modes. Thus as the true foundation of that cognition of the knowledge of all modes has this body become a true shrine for all beings, worthy of being revered, adored, worshipped, honored and saluted respectfully. Just so, when I have gone to parinirvana, also my relics will be worshipped. The son or daughter of good family who, having written this perfection of wisdom, will take it up, study, and bear it in mind, to honor, revere, adore, and worship it with flowers, he will perform worship to the cognition of the knowledge of all modes. Compared with him who deposits the relics of the Tathagata who has gone to parinirvana in a stupa made of the 7 precious things, looks after them, honors them, someone who studies and worships this perfection of wisdom does beget the greater heap of merit. And why? For come forth from it are the 5 perfections, the various kinds of emptiness, the 4 applications of mindfulness, 2. The 18 special buddhadharmas. All concentrations, all dharnis, the maturing of beings, the accomplishment of the Buddha field, the bodhisattva's accomplishments of the family, the body, the enjoyment, the retinue, the great friendliness, the great compassion, the good warrior, Brahmin and householder families, the various kinds of gods, the stream winners, 2. The pratyeka Buddhas, the bodhisattvas, the great beings, the tathagatas, and the knowledge of all modes. 6. Moderately weak. Sacra. Those men of Jambudvipa who do not honor, revere, adore, and worship this perfection of wisdom, do they not know that the cult of the perfections of wisdom is greatly profitable? The Lord. What do you think, Kausika, how many men of Jambudvipa are endowed with unbroken faith in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha? How many are free from hesitation about the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha? How many are unquestionably certain about the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha? Sutra. Only a few. The Lord. What do you think, Kausika? How many men of Jambudvipa have acquired the 37 dharmas which act as wings to enlightenment, the 3 doors to deliverance, 2. The 6 super knowledges? How many have through the forsaking of the 3 fetters become stream winners, 2. How many have set out for the enlightenment of a pratyeka Buddha or for full enlightenment? Sutra. Only a few. The Lord. So it is, Kausika, so it is. Few are those beings who are endowed with unbroken faith in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Fewer are those who are free hesitation about the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Fewer still those who are unquestionably certain about the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Fewer still those who have acquired the 37 dharmas which act as wings to enlightenment. Fewer and fewer those who are stream winners, 2. Those who have set out for full enlightenment, and fewest those who course in enlightenment. And why? Because formerly, when they wandered about in samsara, they have not seen the Buddha, heard the Dharma, honored the Sangha. They have given no gifts, failed to guard morality, develop patience, exert vigor, develop the perfection of giving, 2. The knowledge of all modes. It is by this method, Kausika, that one should know that few are the men of Jambudvipa who are endowed with an unbroken faith in the Buddha, 2. Fewest are those who with earnest intention course in enlightenment. Leaving aside, Kausika, the human beings, what do you think, how many living beings of Jambudvipa have acquired the 37 dharmas which act as wings to enlightenment, 2. Have set out for the enlightenment of a pratyeka Buddha? How many living beings in Jambudvipa have no hesitations about the supreme enlightenment, or about the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha? How many honor their parents and the elders of the family, give gifts, guard the morality, observe the Apposatha days? How many perceive that they ought to be agitated about their body? Perceive that it is impermanent, that it does not belong to them, that it is unlovely, or perceive that there is nothing to delight in anywhere in the world, and how many have set out for the supreme enlightenment? Sutra. Very few indeed. The Lord. So it is, Kausika, so it is, just as you say. Few are the living beings who have acquired the 37 dharmas which act as wings to enlightenment, 2. Who have set out for the supreme enlightenment. Fewer than these are those who course in the supreme enlightenment. Fewer still than these are those who want to fully know the supreme enlightenment. Here Kausika, with my unobstructed Buddha eye I see in all directions in countless world systems innumerable beings who course in the supreme enlightenment. Of these perhaps 1 or 2, not lacking in perfect wisdom and skill in means, might be definitely established on the irreversible stage. But many more than 2 will be definitely established on the level of the disciples or pratyeka Buddhas. And why? Those who are lazy, of inferior vigor, inferior beings, of inferior resolve and stupid find it hard to come up to the supreme enlightenment. 6. Fairly weak. Therefore then, Kausika, those sons and daughters of good family who have set out for the supreme enlightenment, if they want quickly and easily to know the supreme enlightenment, they should learn this perfection of wisdom, bear it in mind, preach, study, and wisely attend to it. In addition they should honor, revere, and worship it with flowers, and whichever other dharmas are contained within this perfection of wisdom they also should be learned, the 6 perfections, the various kinds of emptiness, 2. The super knowledges, and all the other immeasurable buddhadharmas. And why? Because those sons and daughters of good family will cognize that therein the Tathagata has trained in the past when he coursed in the practice of a bodhisattva. That they also should likewise train in it, and that the perfection of wisdom is the teacher, and that also the other immeasurable buddhadharmas are the religion of the Buddhas, the Lords. Training in this perfection of wisdom, 2. In the knowledge of all modes, the Buddhas and Lords, the pratyeka Buddhas, the Arhats, the never returners, the once returners and the stream winners have gone beyond, do go beyond, will go beyond. Therefore then, kausika, the sons and daughters of good family should, whether the tathagata is present or has gone to parinirvana, run back to just this perfection of wisdom, to the perfections of concentration, to all knowledge, to the knowledge of all modes. And why? Just this perfection of wisdom, to just this knowledge of all modes is the support of all disciples and pratyeka Buddhas, of the bodhisattvas, the great beings, and of the world with its gods, men, and asuras. 6. Weekly medium. If some son or daughter of good family would build for the worship of the Tathagata who has disappeared into final nirvana a stupa made of the 7 precious things, 100 miles high and half a mile broad, and would all his life honor it with flowers, what do you think, kausika, would they on the strength of that beget a great heap of merit? Sacra. They would, O Lord. The Lord. Greater would be the merit of that son or daughter of good family who, having copied this perfection of wisdom, will learn it. Bear it in mind. Preach, study, and wisely attend to it, will reveal it to others, will not be without the thought of the knowledge of all modes, and will in addition honor it, revere, and worship it with flowers. 6. Moderately medium. Leaving aside the stupa. If some son or daughter of good family, when the Tathagata has gone to parinirvana, would fill this Jambudvipa with stupas made of the 7 precious things, hundreds of miles high and half a mile broad, and would honor them all his life with flowers, what do you think, kausika, would they on the strength of that beget a great deal of merit? Sacra. They would, O Lord. The Lord. Greater would be the merit of one who learns the perfection of wisdom as before. 6. Strongly medium. And the same holds good if we replace Jambudvipa by this 4-continent world system, or 6. Weakly strong. By a small chiliocosm, or 6. Medium strong. A medium dichiliocosm, or 6. Strongly strong. A great trichiliocosm. 6. One aims at the welfare of oneself and of others. 6. Very weak. Leaving aside the great trichiliocosm. If each of all the beings in the great trichiliocosm would build stupas, greater will be the merit of those who learn the perfection of wisdom. Sacra. So it is, O Lord. Those who honor the perfection of wisdom do honor the past, present, and future tathagatas. If each one of all the beings in the countless world systems in all the directions would build stupas, and honor them for an eon or for the remainder of an eon, would they on the strength of that beget a great deal of merit? The Lord. They would, kausika. Sacra. Greater would be the merit of those who would learn the perfection of wisdom. And why? Because in this perfection of wisdom are contained all the wholesome dharmas, the 10 wholesome paths of action, to the knowledge of all modes. This is the religion of the Buddhas and Lords. Having trained therein, all the disciples and pratyeka Buddhas, as well as the past, present, and future Buddhas and Lords, have gone to the beyond of all dharmas, do go to it, will go to it. End chapter 27.